Okay, so I realized that I've never made just a disassembly video on most of these controllers. I have a video on how to install my custom buttons, which obviously shows you how to disassemble the controller, and I have videos where I go start to finish fixing stick drift, where I disassemble the controllers. But I want to make a video just for somebody who's looking up how to take the controller apart. So what you're going to do to start is grab like some kind of little pick or something, take the faceplate off. You're going to want to get it in between where the two halves of the shell made up. Just hook it under, pop it off. Do the same on the other side. And then it just pops right off. That's how you take the faceplate off. Next, you're going to remove your L and R1 buttons. I take something like this, but you just want something to get behind it and pop it out. Keep your finger in front of it so it doesn't go flying across the room. Then once you do that, you can see your screws. You got 2 screws here, 2 screws there. You're going to want to take those out. I'm just going to pause and take those out off camera real quick. Okay, once you have those 4 screws out, you can start taking the shell apart. Get it started a little bit, have some tension on it, and then bring something back. You'll see these 2 tabs here are helping hold it in. So while you have some tension pulling them open, just get something, pop those tabs back, and then you can pull the rear off. Next, take your battery out. It just unplugs, so get in there, unplug your battery. Then now there are different models, and this will look different on all of them. I have videos on how to take apart this on all the different models. This happens to be a BDM30, so I am going to show how to take all that apart, but if yours looks different than this, I have videos specifically on taking the triggers off and the haptics apart on all the different models. So you'll have on the BDM30s, there's 4 screws on each. On the 40s and 50s, there's only 3. On the 10s and 20s, these are removable modules, and they actually have 2 screws holding them in up here, and then there's 4 screws holding the modules in. So I'm going to take all of these screws out. Alright, now if you're not trying to remove the triggers or do anything with this and you just need to take the frame out, you only need to remove that screw, the one in the battery tray, and the corresponding one over here. That's what's holding the frame into the front case here, and that goes for all models. There's always going to be 1 screw here right above the rumble motors on each side and 1 screw in the battery tray, and that's all, or well, all except the BDM10s. If you have a BDM10, there's going to be 2 screws behind the board here, but I go over that in my videos on those specific models. Now when you're taking the battery tray out, your rear microphone here is probably going to stick in there. Sometimes it just comes out, but you might want to get something to, I just need to bring this closer to my face so I can see it, but just something to pop it out so you don't rip it. Then you'll have 4 cables, one for your trackpad, one for on the 30s and forwards. These are just controlling the like the auto trigger function of the haptics. On the 10s and 20s, there's wider ones here. Those actually have your 1 and 2 button inputs on it as well. And then one for your main microphone. Now for here, especially on the 10s and 20s, because instead on the newer frames, this is open up here, so it's easier to get behind and grab it. But there's actually a little slot on the 10s and 20s that this comes through. You might want to grab like some tweezers or something to help you get that out if you're having trouble. Then you just push on the sticks to help pop the board out. Your joysticks, it's just tension holding them on, so you can just pop them straight off. The speaker, if you need to remove this for whatever reason, nothing. This just kind of sticks there, but you can just plop that off. And then when you put it back on, or if it falls off, because sometimes there isn't really anything holding it on, it just kind of gets stuck there. These parts here, these little tabs sticking up, sit on top of these. So just keep that in mind when you drop it back in before you reassemble it. And then you can just pop the frame straight out. Your options and share buttons, they'll just fall right out. The trackpad, you can just push that out. And if you want to take this apart, that just kind of pushes off like that. Then there's one screw. When you're putting it back on, I found the easiest way is to plop it in here first and then snap it over one side, snap it over the other side. These, the vast majority of them are just going to have one screw. The BDM 10s have 2 screws. The ones that have 2 screws, those also just fall out once you have the screws out. But these ones that just have 1 screw, when you lift it up, you're going to want to pull this way a little bit because there's a little tab here that it locks over. And then if you want to get this off, if you're trying to replace this piece, I do have a video on this specifically, but since I'm here, just come behind with something. This is a little tool that I got out of a watch repair kit. You can just pop this off, and then you can stick this right on another one. You don't need to worry about the residue from the glue, cleaning that up. You can just pop that back on a different one and screw it back together, and that'll hold it. Your front microphone here just comes out of this slot, and it may be kind of stuck in there, so you may need to come like you did with the rear one. All these pieces just come right off, and they hold all your buttons in. Your rings, they just push out like that. Now, if you have you brought a brand new replacement front shell, either a cooler looking one to swap or yours was damaged, this is a removable piece that you're going to have to take out and put in your new one. If you don't put this in, your buttons are going to be jiggling around. So you just come under, you can pull that straight out just like that. And then your mic button, you have little tabs here that hold that on. So you can just plop that out. And now I'll come back to here. I saved this for last because there's a good chance that this may not be helpful to you if you don't have a BDM 30 model but if you happen to, I'll just show you right here. You can pop this off, and then you come in. Sometimes it just falls off, sometimes you gotta nudge it off a little bit. This is your gear. The gears are different. Everything's different for both sides. So, and then you want to grab this metal piece with some pliers, pull that out, and then your trigger just rocks off. And then when you're reassembling it, I'll just show you that real quick. Rock it back on. There's a little tab here that hooks over the spring, but when you put these back on, you want to rotate that all the way down. And when you line your gear back up, you want the top part of your gear, you see how this is flat here? You want those lined up, and that's going to give you the proper amount of travel on your feedback. Then you can do the same to the other side. Pull that out. Do that just to, that's the little notch that I was talking about that goes over your spring. And then you can grab some needle nose pliers to take out these pieces on either side. These are also different on both sides. That little tab always points in. And then here, I'll take this back out. So if you were trying to take this off, you just pop it off of these two here, and then you can peel the whole thing off. I also have videos going over the replacement of these. I'm not going to do that on this one because I don't need to actually replace it on this controller. And then I guess obviously you could unplug that if you want to. So there you go. That's how to completely disassemble. Oh, I guess may as well. This will only work if you have BDM 30, but those just pop out straight like that. If you want it to take those out, there's, once the screws are out, it just snaps into place. So there you go, completely disassembled PlayStation 5 controller. I hope this video helped you, and stay tuned for more videos.